Hello everybody, I am the Magic number 3, and today I've got a bit of a different video for you. This isn't really going to be a guide, or is it going to be like a let's play? This is actually going to be how I approach criticizing my own gameplay in League of Legends. I know a lot of you guys actually don't really like League of Legends that come to my channel, but I know some of you do, and this video is for you. So this is actually a recap of a game that I had already played, and we are going to be going through it. I'm going to describe some mistakes and some reasons why I did some things that I did. Not for justification reasons, but so that I can go on ahead and explain my thought process. So I have the recorded live video here, and we are going to go through and we're going to watch everything that I do. One thing that I know that I do and I need to get better at is using the hotkeys for leveling up my abilities, because oh my lord, do I not use those when I should. Whenever I'm in the middle of a fight and I get a level up because some minion died near me or something, and I can really do with another ability, well, I tend to move my mouse where it doesn't need to be to click the flip-flop and level up. So here at the beginning, I bought my support item and 2 health potions, and I walk up to the enemy blue buff and place a ward down. The reason why I did this is because I don't know until here in a little bit whether my cane is starting raptors or red. And because raptors somewhat slows down Kane's rotation a little bit due to the fact that he doesn't get the red buff leash, I wanted to make sure that he doesn't get invaded at his blue and then potentially die at his level 1 cane. There I pinged the raptors and the red buff and wanted to know which one Kane was going to. So he pinged his red buff, so I knew that he was going to need a leash. I just pinged the vision over at the blue buff to make sure that my team knew, hey, I did put a ward down. If you get ganked from this path, that is your fault. And then we go about, leashing the red buff. Being really, really nice, getting it to about 600, that's what we typically do, and then we head to lane. I knew that the blue buff was still up, so I knew that they didn't leash. So I pinged that the enemies were in that bush. Draven still walks forward a little bit too far, doesn't hide behind the minions. I take the time of their aggression to get some of my stacks, but I knew that this Lux was going to try to play aggressively into my Draven. So I was trying to get some stacks using my Q and get my own health up. Then some crazy stuff starts going down in that this Lux just does not know how to take no for an answer. And my Draven is very, very insane. So he runs in, we lose vision of the Lux so he doesn't get his auto attack off, and this is where I make my first mistake. I thought that I could duel the Misfortune using the healing off of my Q, and I think maybe I could have at least killed the Lux had I barriered, but she did have a health pot ticking. So the likelihood of me actually winning that fight, since I didn't use my potion, very, very low. So I needed to, 1, either not take that fight, 2, use my health potion early so that I could get my healing up and focus Lux instead of Misfortune, or 3, run. Just leave. Don't take the fight. I'm pretty sure I said that same part twice. Just don't do what I did. That was the blue screen moment. Don't do that. Don't. Then, it's just typical laning for quite a while. So we're just going to kind of skip forward a little bit here. I'm trying to get all of my Stealth Thief stacks so I can start getting some vision down. I'm playing a little bit safe because I know that they are going to have a bit of damage due to the fact that they did get 2 kills. We did have minion advantage thanks to the minions kind of bouncing towards us earlier, but we've since pushed them forward, so they're getting some safety from their towers. Luckily, I'm able to get some cheeky Qs off so that I can get the healing and get that healing onto my Draven. to increase the sustain and make it so that Lux's poke isn't as effective. For those of you guys who don't know, Soraka got buffed recently. As of this video, it was the previous patch, and her ultimate prevents grievous wounds. Like, stops grievous wounds and then applies healing. So you can use that in the middle of team fights and as Soraka in order to get rid of enemy healing reduction. However, it does not stop new applications of it. A lot of people ask, well, why is it that whenever I use my ultimate, my follow-up heal does nothing? It's probably because your ADC went on ahead and auto-attacked the guy with Thornmail again, reapplying the grievous wounds. So your ultimate is going to do a lot of healing, but your second heal isn't really going to do much. Here I'm just kind of like poking the backline minions to try and get them kind of low, because I was running to reset here soon, get my shoes, so I can maybe start roaming, because I really wanted to help Anivia out with Victor, despite Kane already being there a lot. I knew that my Draven would likely need help, but I also want to play the map if I can. This simply was not a game where that was very possible because of how much action was going on in the bot lane. I'm saying a lot, and I apologize. So here, once again, just going through the motions of the laning phase, and my Draven does take some poke, but it's not going to matter much because, well, Soraka. I do get hit, let's see, with a double tap, and I'm a little worried because my Draven had grievous wounds on him, and I get snared, so I was a little bit worried for my own health, but I got a heal, and I forgot, as I type here, I thought I used barrier, because I pressed the button, but I think I did it a second too late, because I did it whenever she started the E animation, but the projectile for Lux's detonation actually is somewhat deceptive, in that it starts and the projectile goes out before the animation, goes through all the way. So by the time I noticed the animation, it was already ready to detonate. We have some banter going on in the in-game chat. Draven tells me not to worry, and I apologize, and I told them that I'm not going to tell them that we got this. Positivity in teams, especially if you realize that you made the mistake, is very key in just improving in competitive games overall. The more you tilt, the more you're going to tilt your team, the more games you are going to lose. Here my Draven gets snagged, but it's okay. They're not level 6. I was a little bit worried, so I used a little bit of my own HP because I hadn't landed a Q. And I was struggling here for a little bit because my mind was out of the loop of the game. Draven really wanted to go in on the Lux, but I was a little bit out of tune in that I was missing everything because I was slightly tilted from the Lux thing. I said that I won't tilt, and I failed. But that is okay. All you have to do, even if you're tilting, is just get yourself recentered eventually. And I start getting some poke down with some ease, and I start landing Qs right after I recentered myself. My Draven absolutely pops off with an amazing level 6 combo. And I thought that MF was going to hit 6 at the same time due to her kills, but that was not the case, luckily. One thing that I have set up is that my space key, of course, is set to lock onto my champion, and otherwise it is not locked. I use my Starfall in order to, or Starcall in order to get the passive that makes it so that I don't use my HP, or rather as much of my HP, to heal Draven, just to keep him topped up, because I want him to be able to continue CSing and not have to worry about, dying in lane. I knew that Lux and MF had their ults. Whenever I got hit by that Lux binding, I got super paranoid, but luckily Lux was a little bit late on her ultimate, I think because she is also somebody who clicks. We do get a Olaf trying to come in. Draven, even though we already had vision on the Olaf, does push up, which had me worried, which is why I was sitting in that center bush. I look at the map and I see Kayn coming up, so I decide, okay, I think we can move up to this bush here, and if Draven gets jumped on by Olaf, we should be able to turn the fight. But Kayn has different plans. He wants to scout ahead and do some damage. He misses everything. I try to heal him. I don't really get the opportunity, so I have to pop my ult. I heal him again so he doesn't die to the Lux ult, and then I heal him again just to keep him popped up. But once again, Kayn is a mad lad, so he runs in under tower and dies. Olaf couldn't really decide on who he wanted to go on here. I put a stun down so that the Olaf will get rooted after his ultimate ends. And then Draven says that I'm nuts and pings me a lot. I didn't really know how to take that, and that I wasn't sure if he was being sarcastic because I wasn't able to save Kayn, or if he was actually delighted in the fact that I was able to do things right by him. Draven pings me back for some reason. I was a little bit apprehensive about leaving him there. Luckily, I did not, but it didn't matter too much because Misfortune still gets the kill on him. Misfortune also thought she could get the kill on me, but luckily I had a lot of healing coming out from my Starfall. And I decided to stand there and taunt the Misfortune to keep her there. And as soon as she starts her ultimate, I silence her. Kayn pings me a bunch, calling me insane. We have a lot of positivity in this team. Draven says that I'm nuts again. Lots of positivity going out in this game, which I was super duper appreciative of. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to get the Shirelia's Battle Song, or if I wanted to actually go Moonstone. I thought that because of their team comp and their burst damage that Moonstone would be perfect because I would be able to stop Victor from killing people that are stunned. I would be able to heal people hit by the Sejuani ult and then bursted. And I would be able to keep people topped up from the Lux and Misfortune combo. So here, Lux is clearing some wards or some vision, and my Draven is going absolutely insane. I decided to just get them both silenced. I healed Draven so that he doesn't die from the burst. He did get ignited after my ultimate went off, so it did not cleanse him of it. I wait for that to go away, and then I keep healing Draven. I'm now paying attention to much else that's going on around the map, which was apprehensive, which was due to my own apprehension of not wanting to tempt myself to roam. And that was a problem in this game, is that I feel like I sat bot a little bit too much, despite getting some assists from my ultimates, just that I was using on Draven and just ended up also helping somebody else. I should have been using my ultimate a bit more proactively by watching my team's health bars and looking at things around the map. My Draven still going hard on that tower. I decide to hit some of them good old things. The Lux tried to ult me. I did have Barrier, thank goodness. Barrier is such a good summoner spell on Soraka because more often than not, if you get focused down at Soraka, you're just dead. So Bone Plating and Barrier are very strong because it keeps you in the fight, which means that you are able to continue healing. And if people do focus you down, you need to make sure that you can survive as long as possible to make sure that your opponents don't gain any ground off of you. Dying super fast, like if you just get bursted down and you die immediately in a fight, then you might get some crucial cooldowns, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a lot of value. I run in, my Draven super duper low, I heal him to stop the MF from getting an easy one tap on him. Luckily he just kind of dodged the Lux ults. I come in with some more healing for him. The Lux I thought I could catch out. I got some circle healing My Draven, I believe, had a Immortal Shield Bow, so he was just kind of healing off of the minions and clearing them so we could get under the tower. Olaf clears the dragon here, so immediately we're all falling back, or rather we're trying to. Luckily, he is very much paranoid about vision, so instead of actually committing to the gank and just running at us with his ultimate, he decides it would be best to clear that ward first. I wait until the Lux ult goes down before I start using all of my healing abilities on Draven. That way he has the maximum amount of health lost, so I can just start spamming all of my cooldowns on him and keep his health topped up. I also waited for the Lux Ignite to go down, which he immediately used on Draven before I used my ultimate to stop the Grievous Wounds. Because none of the other players had Grievous Wounds yet, I was able to continue healing onto the Draven. I also get another compliment from Draven calling me nutty, which was really, really kind. Actually, after this game, a couple of these players who were squatted up together decided to invite me to their Discord and asked me to play some following games. He says it's all UBB, and I said I wouldn't be able to win without a good ADC. So, just trying to keep the positivity going in flow, and I called him cracked. We gotta keep the positivity in flow. I'm watching Darius on my map, despite, tapping around and looking. I see that his health bar isn't going down, so I'm pretty sure Sejuani loses that fight. So, I didn't feel the need to ping my ult. What I typically do is I will ping my ult if my, other laners start a fight so that they know I cannot help from across the map. My Draven luckily survives the Misfortune ult thanks to my silence and my healing. I didn't know if I would get there in time to actually get the silence down, and I was worried that I would take a bunch of damage and trying, but luckily it all worked out. Kept my Draven alive, kept him in the lane. The more topped up you can keep your ADC, especially if they're getting strong, the stronger that they will become because they'll be able to apply more pressure. You'll notice that Draven, as soon as he gets some items and I'm around, he plays very aggressively, getting super duper close to just straight up diving the enemy tower, which I thought was cool. I saw Lux put a ward over there thanks to my cheeky ward from before. I saw they were playing super duper far forward, but I did notice Olaf was in the top red jungle by noticing him via Kayn and Anivia's vision. Draven did take a lot of damage. I cleansed all of it basically and kept him topped up, so complete reset. I put my silence down because Victor was ganking, got the nice little root. I see the other two coming behind me, so I flash over the wall and I try to keep Draven alive. Did not quite work out. I used the speed from my star call to try and keep Olaf off of me. Anivia gets the slowdown. So I go on ahead and I get a nice little star call so I can get some HP back. Then my Kayn rolls in. I'm watching him on the map because I didn't want to take my eyes off of my champion due to the fact that I didn't know where their other teammate was. As you can see, I didn't know where their Sejuani was, and I didn't want to get ulted from behind because I didn't see her on the map until just now, in which she is top lane. Darius and Anivia go on ahead and take tier 2 top tower. This is whenever Draven asks if I'm solo, and I tell them yes, and Draven and Kayn said that I should join them, which I did after the game, which was, I had some really, really fun games with them. I had a great time. They were really, really funny people. So, shout out to My Price Sucks and Bradford. Some very wonderful people, super duper funny. Had a really, really hilarious group. And we're just kind of auto-passing back to Draven. You see, I thought maybe I should try and follow the people with the bounties, so like Kayn, Darius, and Anivia. But I also thought Kayn, super duper fast. I wouldn't really be able to keep up with him. I would end up getting caught out, and I would end up dying, which would be super duper bad for the team in general, right? So I decided to just stick with my Draven and keep vision up for him and just peel for him and keep him healthy. I didn't notice that Draven was getting was diving here, but I did notice that Victor was there. I tried to put the silence down, forgot about the blast plant, and my Draven ends up going down despite my best efforts. I stayed a little bit too long trying to keep my Draven alive, and we both end up getting killed, despite me seeing basically everyone on vision. My Kayn does go in, kill the Lux, and gets out. There was a little bit of a bad thing here in that he tried to get back in on the Victor and was not able to. He did deal a lot of damage though. I believe he also got a Dark Harvest deck after that, so it's not completely bad. And Anivia just kind of chilling in the bush here. I was responding to a Discord message while I was dead, and then I'm checking my items for my cooldowns, seeing if there's anything else that I should be focusing on. I was wondering if maybe I should get some sort of extra slowdown or anything like that for the Olaf, or maybe get myself some health or armor. But I decided against it for now due to the fact that I wasn't really being focused down. I did notice them going for the dragon. I didn't think that we'd be able to do much about it due to the fact that we were all kind of split up for a bit. They do end up getting it, I believe, and we just kind of... I made a mistake in that I kind of hovered around, but I did get a lot of CC down and peeled them away, and I kept my Anivia topped up while Kayn went in. I wanted to heal Kayn here, but whenever I pinged, he went towards the tower instead of me. I believe it was to bait him towards everybody else. I just do my best staying in the back line, keeping everybody topped up. Getting a lot of healing down in those team fights is really, really good, especially since a lot of them hadn't dealt grievous wounds yet. Kayn was did have grievous wounds on him during those 2 heals there, so I had a lot of wasted health on my end, which forces me here to go in back, so that's another mistake I have to watch out for. Keep a closer eye on my teammates to make sure they're not inflicted by grievous wounds after fights end, so that I don't waste a bunch of my HP and I can stay in the fight here. We get the middle tier 3 tower, and Darius is really, really hungry for that inhibitor. Draven keeping Olaf at bay due to the lead that he's been given. I was very, very worried about mid, and I wasn't super duper worried about Draven, but I wanted to watch him do his little spinning act tricks anyway. I also wanted to make sure that I was paying attention in case they needed an ult, which is why I was watching them so closely. And whenever I did ult, it got some value for Darius, but my Draven ended up being the one that needed it, and they all go down. I believe that if I didn't ult there, Darius would have died, or rather he would have died sooner, which would have been a detriment either way. So what I likely should have done in that situation is just saved my ult due to the fact that it was a 2v5 and both of my teammates had been hard CC'd. I should not have wasted my ult in those circumstances, but at the time it felt like a good idea, and I will remember that for the future. I did notice that Johnny was pushing, so I pinged for help, but none was needed because she wasn't intending to push it up all the way. So I ended up taking the time to miss 3/4 of the CS because I have the CSing prowess of a damage pool noodle. As you can see, I miss all but like 2 of that wave. So, you know, professional support gameplay. That's all we have for you. Draven pings that he's coming in. I do have a lot of vision on the bottom side of the map. I knew that Olaf was on the Gromp. My Draven says that we can 2v8. I'm not too sure about that one, but I do like the enthusiasm. Middle, Kayn killed the Misfortune, I believe, and I stand here and I taunt the enemy in the hopes that one of them will run in at me and we can get some aggression kind of taken out. Olaf does run in with his ult automatically engaged, which was a bad idea for him. But then I, once again, did not use my barrier, ran into a high damage burst character, and proceeded directly afterward to, in my own head, go, why? Why did I do that? I do that a lot in that I make a mistake, immediately identify it, and just wonder to myself, but why did I do this? What compelled me? And I think what compelled me there is greed. I wanted to get in, get a Q, kite back, keep my team up because of the fact that I got the Q. It would slow him, and it would give my team more aggression. Didn't really need it because my team ended up catching him anyway. But like I said, greed. Yeah. And here, there's a teleport coming down. I believe that's the enemy's Sejuani or the Victor. I believe it was Victor, actually. I'm just kind of watching the fight, seeing if an ult opportunity will present itself. My Draven is caught out of position, so I go on ahead and I ping a couple times. I did not want him to get Sedge ulted here. I didn't know if she had it up. I did not see her use it. So I was just making sure that she did not go down, or that he did not go down super duper fast, and Sejuani did not kill him like the ADC he is, because, you know, non-ADC meta. And here, Olaf just kind of goes like ham-bony. I try to keep Draven up, and it worked out pretty well. And this kind of encroaches on the end of the game. Like, we've only got a couple minutes left. And I do notice that my Draven's kind of in the muck here. So I just kind of follow him around, keep him topped up. That's all you can do as Soraka, is try and keep your team as healthy as possible. My Draven is a little bit of a mad lad in that he just wants to murder. Typical Noxians here, you know, flexing their might, standing at the enemy base, laughing at them, but like spinning their axes and bouncing their basketballs. Draven ends up pulling in some people from the fact that they did some aggression. I barriered late, and that rounded out the game with a W. Now, did I make a bunch of mistakes this game? Yes. Did it still end up as a win? Yes. Does that mean I should just say, oh, okay, this is what I should do every game? No. Because of the fact that I did make some mistakes, I need to go back into these games, identify them, and understand what I did wrong in order to correct them. So a couple of things that I did was didn't pay close enough attention to my map in the mid-game, so I wasn't able to assist as much as I could have by using my ultimates at the correct time in order to get the cooldown. Get the cooldown while I am safe, so that then if a fight does break out, it is available again while I still had some influence over a different part of the map. I needed to pick my fights better, make sure that I'm paying closer attention to enemy animations so I know when to use my summoner spells, and just overall timing and picking my fights was something that I really needed to focus on in this particular game, especially early game, because as Soraka, you have a lot of early game pressure in that you have a decent amount of sustain, and your sustain comes from your Q, and your Q deals damage and slows. So being able to Q onto somebody and then get some auto attacks in is very powerful. But if you are not able to do that with backup, or if your opponent is able to turn that around on you, you simply do not have what you need in order to play the early game successfully. The easiest way to play Soraka is play super duper safe until level 3, and then harass a lot more with your Q, and also heal your ADC and or your jungler or ganking champions with your W. You might be asking, but 3, why are you saying instead of your ADC heal them? The big reason why is because you are not restricted to playing Soraka in the support role. You can play Soraka top, or you can play Soraka mid. Don't recommend her in the jungle, but you can try. Typically, in those other 2 positions, you will have a different level order, but the idea of Soraka is still Wambulance extraordinaire. If you play her in one of the other lanes, you will get your items and you will get your levels a lot faster. So one thing that I've done is I went on ahead and I did take Soraka mid the following game after this, in that we absolutely destroyed the enemy. It was a very, very good game. Then after that we played Swain and an Ezreal ADC, and I didn't go very well. And in this particular match, I did find a lot of things that I needed to take advantage of. And in the following game, I ended up going 8-0 and 26 because I took all of that into consideration. I played a lot more safe. I played aggressively only whenever I needed to, and I was always there for team fights, and I was always getting very, very strong ults off. If you're playing Soraka and you really want to perform well, buy a Dark Seal after your support item, or first whenever you are leaving base, or a Doran's Ring if you're playing in a lane, and buy it second. I personally like doing the Doran's Ring and then buying a Dark Seal afterwards. My biggest preference is getting Doran's Ring, getting Dark Seal, and refillable potion after my first back. That way, whenever I do hit 6 and I notice ganks and fights going on around the map, I can ult to get my Dark Seal stacks, and then whenever I upgrade that into Magi's, which I did not do in this game, I will have a lot of bonus healing power because my AP will be much higher. And then you can just tie that in with your regular supportive items. You still do build supportive items whenever you play Soraka in a lane, because of the fact that Soraka's healing is just so powerful that getting heal percentage modifiers rather than just flat ability power will definitely be much more acceptable for your team in team fights, because of the fact that you're spamming heals. Flat AP just heals less than her base healing power amplified by a percentage. So, if you have, let's say you have a 100 heal, and it scales with X amount of AP, if you have the AP, you can sometimes get, 125, 135, but if you just have flat 25% healing, you will consistently have your 125 heal. And that, of course, that's all variables. You would have to go in and look at the number yourself. This is more macro analysis and less actual champion analysis, because playing a champion, if you know the champion's combo, you know the champion's limits, and you know the champion's capabilities and what they do best, champions are pretty easy. It's the macro and micro parts of the actual game and less about the champion. Once you choose your champion, that's what you're going to play. If you know how your champion operates, then you will be successful so long as you're following the guidelines that your champion wants you to take part in. But that's not always the case. So sometimes you just need to take things case by case for your game, because League of Legends is always evolving, especially in the fact that this is going to be the next preseason here pretty soon. This was just kind of a typical gold player great player analysis, in which I'm critiquing the things that I used to be able to do really, really well and am now struggling with. And I just thought it would be something interesting for the people that enjoy League of Legends and watch this channel would enjoy. That's basically it for this video. I really just wanted to throw a game out there, give my take on how I analyze my matches. I do this particularly for losses, but this particular game I noticed small errors that ended up in a success. So I wanted to point out that even if you make mistakes, you can still come out on top, but you need to identify when you make mistakes. That way you don't internalize the fact that, this kind of play style made me win, I should do this all the time, and end up the next game not being so gracious in the fact that you were able to come back from the errors and needing to understand that even if you win, there's always something to learn from every match you play. Yeah, that's basically it. The next video will likely be another Mass Effect video. I love Mass Effect, but I really wanted to get something in between because I didn't want to just shove a bunch of Mass Effect out all at once. So this video is coming out directly after that one. And yeah, so this will be airing tomorrow, I think. Or no, later today. And after that, we'll be going back to Mass Effect. What I think what I'll be doing is some sort of analysis, then let's play, and then either something else or another analysis. That way, we can have a steady influx of different content coming in and out of the channel, And, well, that's like I said before, that's basically it for the video. Yeah, I don't really know what to do now except for go on a tangent. So I think I'll save you guys that part. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go on ahead and leave a comment, like, subscribe. You don't actually have to do any of those things, but if you do them, it will help the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate that. Much love to you guys, and bye!